Capricorn, what is even up with you? Welcome to Starchaeology Tarot. I am Desi. I will be your Starchaeologist for this July reading. Guys, I'm going to give you a reading straight from source that is just gonna uplift and enlighten and inspire you and strengthen you and remind you of your own power and really just leave you in a much better place than you were when this reading started, hopefully, because that's what tarot should do. It is an introspective tool to help you, and that is my mission here today. If you have any specific question or intention that you want to set or ask, specifically for July, please do that as I tune in and shuffle in a moment. This reading is good for Capricorn Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I also encourage you to watch those placements for you because you are a unique puzzle, and our sun signs are only one piece of that puzzle. So to get a full, better understanding of the nuances and special quirks of you, definitely check out your other placements. I also encourage you to cross-watch for a loved one if you're curious what their July is looking like. You want to know what to expect between the two of you, how you can best support them during their challenges this month. Cross-watching for their sun sign or Venus or moon or whatever it is, that is a cool thing for you to do. Okay, guys, let's get to it. I'm so excited to see what July has for you, and I'll wrap up this moment by just saying thank you and I love you. Let's go. Capricorn, you are starting this month feeling like you have been hard at battle, and you're exhausted. You're really exhausted, and that is completely understandable. It's funny seeing these two cards together, though. We have the Five of Swords plus the Nine of Wands. Five of Swords often refers to knowing when it's time to make a gracious exit from the battle, because you could go on fighting indefinitely if you chose that, and lose even more. At this point, all is not lost. You can lose a battle and still win a war. If you feel like you have been losing, it's time to change your tactic maybe. And I think what tactic has been here has been this, has been in place for you, has been this defensiveness. This Nine of Wands is like you've been in the battle long enough that in a way it's created it's kind of made you jaded in a way. It's made you overly protective and overly defensive, not necessarily well defended. Sure, well defended, but the dark side of that coin is being incredibly defensive to the point that you don't only just keep the bad things out, you keep the good things out too. And you can see in this card, it's like this is like a well-seasoned warrior. He's kind of built a jail around himself with his own weapons. And you know, you haven't gone so far down this road of defensiveness, of creating these boundaries that you're unable to turn back. You've defended yourself well up until this point, and I think the way that you walk away from this battle is actually taking your defenses down. It's really counterintuitive when we spend so much time building walls up, and when we've spent so much time and energy pouring ourselves into this defense, into the setting of these boundaries. But sometimes we lose sight of actually what those boundaries are doing for us, and when the end, we like lose context for like what's too much of a boundary, what is too much of a line that's been drawn, what's too thick of a line. The way that you win this war, the way that you end this battle, and the way that you're able to walk away with some things that you have won and actually hang on to those things that you have won is by letting down these walls of defensiveness. Because for as long as you are defending yourself on that battlefield, it will always feel like a battlefield. The battle itself is over. It's over. And all is not lost. But this is largely about your mindset. As long as you see this as a dangerous battle zone that you are in, it will remain that battle zone. As long as you feel the need to defend yourself against danger, there will always be the threat of danger in your mind. And that will always affect the way that you are living your life. So this is really a time to just put down your weapon and accept that where you are now, what got you to this point has served you. It is not going to serve you any further. You can move on from this and you can change your tactic and you can stop fighting. It's okay to stop fighting. Stopping the fight does not make you a loser. It does not make you lose the battle. In this case, there is so much to be gained, so much to be won by stopping the fight, by walking away from it, by putting your defenses down. And it's a real act of faith, too, to do that. You know, it's a real leap of faith. But the reason why I'm saying that, why I know that you are supported in that, is because this is what the best potential outcome of this month is for you. It's the moon plus the world. You don't step in to this full version of yourself. The world card is this completion. It's this wholeness that is at your fingertips that you can adopt. It's like it's bringing something full circle, some karmic lesson, some part of yourself full circle. And you can see, like, you know, she's surrounded by this reef. It's like very reminiscent of the cosmic egg, you know, the symbol for emergence. It's like all potentials. This holds all potential and all potential realized at once. Everything is in the world card. It's all there. And it's this wholeness, it's this completion. And a huge part of completion for you is the acknowledgement of your dark side. It is the acknowledgement of your wild side, of the strangeness in you, the part that darkness brings out in you. And you know, the demons of yours, the nightmares that you see in the half light of the moon. You may think that you hold yourself together, that you keep yourself whole by avoiding those dark parts of yourself, by ignoring by not exploring the nightmares, by turning in the other direction when you see your fears, as opposed to going to meet them and trying to befriend them, trying to turn them from enemies to teachers. But this is saying that you cannot, that sense of wholeness that you get from that, or that sense of, I think it's more a sense of control, really, of feeling like you feel whole only because you feel in control of the situation. You're able to filter your experience and curate your life experience by avoiding the dark spots of it. But by filtering out the darkness, you'll never be a whole version of yourself, because like this world card, we are all both sides of every coin is in us, is in every one of us. Both sides of the coin is in our experience. It is in the world. It is in the universe. We are darkness. We are light. We are the masculine. We are the feminine. We are passivity. We are action. The world card is the harmonizing of the dualities and polarities of life and holding space for both of them, realizing it's like the enlightenment, this light bulb moment, that this is not a binary choice. It's not one or the other. We spend our lives thinking oh, it's this or it's this. And real growth and evolution actually comes from realizing we're never going to resolve the dualities. We need to simply acknowledge the truth of both of their existence and harmonize them. That is real. That is real enlightenment and awakening. And I think there is some sort of blockage you've had resisting your own darkness, resisting your shadows, your demons, facing those demons, resisting the dark parts of yourself, or even labeling them as bad, and I put that in quotes because darkness is not by nature bad. The things that we'd often label as bad could be the greatest teachers of our life, which doesn't that ultimately make them good? So this is really this putting down your defenses and walking away from the battle. I think that battle has been against this dark side. I think that battle has been against your inner demons, and this is a time where it's like, no, there is no more fighting them. There is only acknowledging them. The battle is over, but this is very much a time to meet them and assimilate them so that they can join the other parts of yourself so that you can be whole. There is a need to assimilate all these parts of yourself so that you can walk away. And I think also this is like the world, excuse me, could be relating to a specific chapter in your life right now. This is not just about, you reaching wholeness and then suddenly you've done all you have to do here in life. I think this is specific to a point of your journey that you are on, a specific lesson that you have been trying to learn. And I think it largely has to do with the way that you go after what you want, but thinking, how you think about the thing that you want and how you go after it. Because we have swords and wands here. So there is something about the fulfillment in life purpose and life energy, your life force, and the way that your thoughts keep you from that versus support you, bring you closer to that. It's an intellectual understanding of your existence and your capabilities, and how things work around achieving goals and success. I think for some of you it's almost like a denial of any darkness or fears surrounding your goals, surrounding your dreams, because you think that it will negatively affect you. The irony is that by resisting them, you're always holding them there at bay, as opposed to opening up your arms, embracing them, and letting them dissolve into nothingness. When we resist things, they persist. What you resist persists. So the resistance is really, I think, a false sense of security, a false sense of control, of having all your ducks in a row, of being whole, of thinking, I'm just being positive about this. I'm only going to think about the light. I'm not going to acknowledge any of the darkness in this situation. I'm not going to acknowledge past hurts. I'm not going to acknowledge my past wounds that might be filtering into this journey for me, this journey towards achievement and success. And the irony is that there needs to be an acknowledgement of those things. Acknowledgement is not the same thing as obsessing and harping on those things. You can acknowledge darkness without focusing on it to the point that you create it in your reality. You create more of it in your reality. But I think that an acknowledgement of our whole selves, of our whole authentic selves, is always crucial in no matter what journey we are on. It helps. And this kind of might be a false sense of like, oh, I have to be positive about this. I can't acknowledge that side of myself. I can't acknowledge this darkness if I want to get to what I want. And that is a false belief. Let that go, because that is not serving you at all. Hold on, I gotta drink this. Whoa. Okay, that's better. And this might blow your mind too, how you go about doing this. I think that there is something about, specifically about what you believe is honest and transparent and how you equate that with being good. Seven of Swords here paired with the Four of Wands. A card, this is the Thief card, paired with a very positive card about security and celebration. This is like the honeymoon card. In this context, this is shedding a new perspective on the Thief card for me. Because normally I think you would define this part, this kind of behavior, someone stealing something, you stealing something, whether it's someone else's time or space, you crossing a boundary, you withholding information, something that feels like it's dishonest in some way, that needs to be rewritten, because I think your adherence to what you believe to be righteous is actually limiting you in some way and potentially even hurting you. There are times when withholding information is not dishonest. It's simply being honest to yourself. It is an honoring of a boundary that needs to be set. If you are in, for example, a situation like an abusive relationship or a very, very, unhealthy job situation, a career, you're in an unhealthy work environment, or you have a partner who's taking too much from you, or some sort of codependent relationship where too much is being taken from you, you're being taken advantage of in some way. Any of these situations, sometimes to deal with sometimes we need cunning. We need to be a little cunning and clever to help us navigate situations with someone or something that feels in itself unhealthy and bad. And of course I'm not saying like, be a liar, be dishonest, but I think that some of us are we really have such a tunnel vision on what we believe to be right and wrong, or truthful, authentic, transparent versus non-transparent or deceptive, that we fail to realize that there is an entire spectrum of really what that is. There's a spectrum of righteousness, a spectrum of what is authentic and loving behavior. And it's not so black and white sometimes as being right and wrong. There are things that we do to protect ourselves as long as they don't hurt anyone else, and also things that we do to protect others that is none of their business. But sometimes, things get like, when we see things too black and white, it's easy to think we owe something to someone that we don't owe. Like, oh, well, that's how I'm honest. It's like, you don't, sometimes honesty, when it's unneeded and unnecessary and it does not really concern someone else, it can be far more hateful and unloving than it is loving and kind and protective. So I think this is like kind of a reevaluation of the Thief card, a reevaluation of what you consider to be deceitful, And knowing that sometimes there is secrecy or a lack of transparency that is not hurtful, but actually comes from a very loving and supportive place, especially if you yourself are in a situation that is unhealthy or complex and nuanced in some way, which is all of life's experiences. Nothing is so black and white, right? So I think this is a time and a call really to analyze whatever you are labeling as darkness in yourself, and reanalyze like how doing something might actually be the most loving thing you could do for another person, for a group of people, for yourself. It's a redefining of what you believed, where you believe that line between right and wrong is, and understanding that it is not necessarily so binary, but really a spectrum, and that different nuanced individual situations and people call for different nuanced individualized solutions and actions and behavior. And as long as it's coming from a place of love and a real concern with just like with boundaries, with knowing like this belongs to me, this is not for someone else, it's not about someone else, or this is for someone else and this doesn't have anything to do with me. Like, I think that's really the key to distinguishing when secrecy, which you also could simply just say boundaries are important and actually are transparent and loving and are not necessarily dark or bad. So I think that Capricorn, you're coming into a place where you're realizing that maybe even the ways in which you've been fighting this battle have been adhering to what you believe to be good or bad, and your fear of being labeled as bad has kept you in this fight. When in fact, you're not serving yourself, you're not serving anybody else by staying in this fight, by being defensive, by still holding a sword. There is a lot to be gained by walking away from the battle and acknowledging that even that losing is maybe not the kind of loss that you thought it was. Losing is not bad in the way that you thought it was. Wow, I don't know if this is resonant for some of you. I hope this is, but this is coming through right now. I think, when you play a game and you let someone else win, I think for some of you it's about letting someone else win right now. And that is not like deceitful to let someone win if it's also a loving thing to do, and it's not, there aren't consequences here that are going to really hurt both of you, but rather letting this go, letting this win, surrendering, will help set a boundary and allow you to move past whatever the battle is. Yes, that is by definition deceitful, but is that evil? No. So this is, I think this is what we're talking about here. There's a spectrum of what deceit really means. And I think that there is a lot to be won for you by letting someone else win right now. Letting someone else win means the battle is over for you. And the battle itself is what is causing you suffering. So, are you really losing by making it over? I think that's key here. Capricorn, what a way to just, and what a way to end this too. I mean, just with this World card, I think that this is a huge, huge lesson for you. I think that There is real growth coming with this realization, with this redefining of what is good and bad, what is right and wrong. And, thinking of yourself in a new light, in this new light of not labeling yourself the thief, not labeling yourself like a fraud or liar, by doing something that is simply just setting a boundary and recognizing what belongs to you and what belongs to someone else, and not feeling obligated to have to share that. I think for many of you this is about like codependency, actually. Simply recognizing that what you have come to identify as being honest and open is actually a complete violation of healthy boundaries. So setting those boundaries, setting healthy boundaries back up is not dishonest. It is loving, and it's healthy, and it's kind. Yeah, I think I would love to hear, Capricorn, what this is for you specifically. But I do think the overall message is to let this battle go. You win by letting it go. You win by letting someone else win. You win by losing. Losing doesn't make you the loser here. Losing still leads you to something to be celebrated. And it can actually lead you to assimilating this dark side of yourself, your own shadows, your own demons, things that you once labeled as bad, by experiencing something bad, by facing something bad head on. You realize it's not as bad as what you thought it was. And you're able to then move past those fears instead of continuing to resist them so that they continue to persist. That's what allows you to grow into this full version of yourself, to experience wholeness, and to really come full circle in some sort of spiritual lesson, something in your subconscious and your superconscious being made conscious now, and you're able to move past, you're able to grow past this outdated version of yourself and start this new chapter from a more whole and stable you. Again, 4 of Wands is like a card of stability and security and a really strong foundation, and that is only happening by acknowledging and assimilating the darkness, the inherent darkness in you. So Capricorn, I hope that was helpful. I would love to hear what these specifics are for you. This is a really interesting reading, and I have no doubt that you have been fighting battles these last few months. I think a lot of us have. For whatever reason, it's clear that it's been something that's taken up a lot of your attention lately, and you're tired, and you deserve a rest. You deserve to be able to move on from this, and keep those healthy boundaries in place without being overly defensive, without limiting yourself to, to the point that you're shutting out the good things as well as the bad. Also redefining what is good and bad. What you thought was bad that you were keeping out might be the thing that you need the most. It might be the thing that is going to open you up the most, lead you to the greatest, deepest self-expansion and enlightenment and wholeness. This next version, this next chapter of your life. So thank you so much for being here. If you liked this reading, please like and subscribe. Please share Starchaeology Tarot with anyone that you would like to give a boost to, because that's why I do these readings. They are to uplift and encourage and empower people. And again, thank you so much for being here. It means so much to me, and I am so grateful. I love you very much, and have the happiest July of your actual life. Goodbye.